They don't want a deal, period, full stop. They don't want a deal. They don't want to make this a quote-unquote campaign win for Joe Biden. It says everything you need to know about the fraud that they're perpetuating on the issue of the border. And I think it is a disgrace what the Republican Party is doing, what Donald Trump is doing. And this is hidden in plain sight. He sent out a tweet or some truth, whatever, saying, kill it. And these guys are so weak. It's so pathetically weak.
California lawmakers are moving forward with a new bill that would grant illegal immigrants easy access to home mortgages. California's Dream for All program provides loans to first-time homebuyers to cover expensive down payments. But now a state Senate committee has unanimously voted to open up the taxpayer-funded program to all prospective homebuyers, regardless of immigration status. Now, the bill next goes to the full state Senate, and this isn't just happening in California, by the way. A taxpayer-funded group in Oregon is offering up to $30,000 for first-time homebuyers. The catch, it's not even open to United States citizens, only migrants. Kevin, is this good for business?
No. In fact, average American citizen listening to us right now, I would be really pissed off. And I mean, this is more Gavin Newsom stuff.
This is super crazy. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com, TatumStore.com. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, can you imagine working hard? Some of you guys, this is a reality for you. Working hard, you get your check. Nick just told me because he got his check. And you see that they've taken so much money out your check that you think it has to be robbery. Somebody, you had to come check and make sure that this wasn't a mistake. The government snatching bodies out here. And what are they doing with your money? You know, I wouldn't have a problem with paying taxes and the government taking my money if I feel like, you know, the government is really sustaining everything that we do. They're not wasteful in their spending. They're being, you know, mindful of our money. I feel like things are being innovative and you know, I go to the DMV and it's smooth. It's smoother than, you know, a private business would be. The government is always on time. It's shipping from the government. Everything the government does is proficient and it flows well. Take my money for taxes. But that's not what we get. We get stuff like this. The government want to take your money and give an illegal down payment on a house. You don't need to own a house. You don't need to own a house. You're not even a citizen. You just need somewhere to lay your head. You can rent there. How about you give citizens money to put a down payment on owning a house that the government will rent to the illegals and pay for it? How about we do that? How you gonna own a house and you ain't got no driver's license or nothing? No social security number, nothing. You ain't supposed to be here. You should be in jail. We don't even know who you are, how you get a house. But don't listen to me.
California lawmakers are moving forward with a new bill that would grant illegal immigrants easy access to home mortgages. California's Dream for All program provides loans to first-time homebuyers to cover expensive down payments. But now a state Senate committee has unanimously voted to open up the taxpayer-funded program to all prospective homebuyers, regardless of immigration status. Now, the bill next goes to the full state Senate, and this isn't just happening in California, by the way. A taxpayer-funded group in Oregon is offering up to $30,000 for first-time homebuyers. The catch, it's not even open to United States citizens, only migrants. Kevin, is this good for business?
No. In fact, average salary in America is $68,000. Down payments, $20,000 to $30,000. If I were a tax-paying American citizen listening to us right now, I would be really pissed off. And I mean, this is more Gavin Newsom stuff. I have been an open critic of his policies in terms of what it's done to California. It's turning it into an economic dumpster fire. This policy makes no sense. I'd call it un-American. You're an American paying taxes, and you don't get the same free money? I mean, who would even propose that? That's such a stupid idea. I can't believe it. If that passes, That's just more insanity in
Do
California.
you think he's going to sign it, though, Kevin? Because I'm questioning whether or not he will. I mean, they've got a $45 billion budget deficit right now in California. I'm wondering if the budget hawks are going to say, wait a minute, Gavin, back up.
I think the reason Newsom was not considered for a presidency role in this last round is he owns the dumpster fire called California. And if you proposed him to run this country the way he runs California, not all of us want to live in a dumpster fire. And so I think he has to fix California, and that's not how you start. If you're a taxpayer, an American citizen, and you don't get access to the same deal, you should be really pissed.
This program ran out of money when they first introduced it in 2 weeks. Just to be clear, I mean, the affordability crisis for housing in California is off the charts. That is a Democratic Senate, by the way. I think that they will pass it, to your point, but I'm not sure Gavin's going to sign it. I don't.
Just imagine they want to play Monopoly Fantasy and have a utopian wet dream with your money. I don't understand how people are okay with this stuff. You don't get to do your pet projects with the people's taxpaying dollar. Like, that's a huge responsibility. You get caught mismanaging the money, you go to jail. I wish people go to prison. They catch you intentionally and maliciously using taxpayer dollar in a way in which you didn't explain that it was supposed to be used that way, or you doing it to deceive people, or whatever the case may be. You sending it to illegal aliens. Prison, maybe even a death penalty. People be putting their life on the line to make that money that you taking their tax and just doing whatever you want to do with it. These people ain't supposed to be over here, man. I get it. They want a better life. I want a better life. I want to live in the mountains over there in Silverleaf. I want the mountain on the top of the hill. I deserve to look. Give me the big camera. I deserve to live on that mountain because I'm a good person. I'm about as good of a person as the guy that own the house on the mountain. That don't mean you get to have it. That means you got to get off and work for it. They want to come to America. I get it. Everybody want to come to America. There's 1 billion people in the world, probably 5 billion, that want to come live in America. Everybody can't live here. There's a lot of people want to live in Silverleaf, want to live in Paradise Valley in a gated community. Everybody can't do that. You know, you have the ability to one day do that, but you can't just do it just because you feel like it, because you feel like you deserve it. Not everybody deserves to be in America. I'm sorry, man. These freedoms God put us here. We only got so much space here. We only got so many resources and revenue. And I'm okay with immigration. You just come here legally. That's all. Is that too hard to ask? Is that too hard to ask to say, don't you take your narrow behind up under that fence? Go down there to that box at the port of entry. And if they don't let you in, brother, they don't let you in. You tried. But how in a flying flip do we have a system where some people go through the system and they waiting and they spending money and they got to defend themselves, they got to fill out paperwork, and 2 years later, you know what? You actually can temporarily have status in it, and somebody just walk right over here. Those two realities can't exist, bruh. That's like you working hard to get into Harvard, and then somebody sneaking to Harvard, they get to get in. That's exactly what that is. Like at the University of Arizona. If you can make it to a lecture class, you in the school. It's like, nah, bro. Like, people didn't pay $40,000 tuition to go to the school. And a person just walks up on campus and just start sitting in a lecture hall, and somehow they get to be a part of the university. They become alumni. I mean, shut the front door. That don't make sense in no other situation. That's like people I hire here. Somebody off the street just come here and start working. And I go, hey, they needed a job. Well, no, everybody else that didn't apply for the job needed a job.
No, we'll see.
I can't imagine being Gen Z. I can't imagine being a young person and you feel economically depressed. And you go look, and the median housing price for the second quarter of this year was $412,000. That's up nearly 30% of the second quarter from 2021. And then you think, okay, maybe I can afford this. Oh, wait, the interest rate's about 7% on mortgages. I looked this morning. And then you find out your taxpayer dollars could go to illegal immigrants getting the down payment you have saved for. I can't imagine being a young person. I can't imagine trying to find a starter home and then hearing this. I just can't.
And let's talk about Oregon for a second, because so many Californians fled there. It, like Washington, California, has a large agricultural population, and it's the coast that is so staunchly blue, right? The majority of it is red. That is why so much of Oregon is trying to secede to be joined by Idaho or be
I don't mean to point this out. Maybe it's the fisheye lens. Is Kayleigh McEnany that much bigger than Kevin O'Leary? I don't think so. I think it's the fisheye lens, because it looked like she is a giant. And she's a giant, and he's a little person, and she's kind of little too. I know she's short in real life, and then she looks huge. So maybe it's the thing right here. I just can't stop looking at her and looking at Kevin O'Leary. Like, she looked like she's 5 times the size of Kevin O'Leary. Anyway, he's 5'10". Kayleigh McEnany got to be like 5'7", 5'8". She can't be 5'10". Well, she looked like she's 6'3" on here. if he 5'10". Anyway, y'all ain't even worried about that. Roll the clip.
by Idaho, and policies like this don't help. To your point, the travesty is not necessarily an open hand to illegal immigrants. The travesty is that you are stamping down American taxpayers. You are casting them aside, and you are propping up illegal immigrants.
Yeah, this is why Kamala Harris and other Democrats don't want to talk about things. They don't want to be asked. They don't want to have to raise their hand and say, do you approve of this? And I would say that, as a former leftist, that it's California, New York, and England, London, that you can look to determine where the left is going worldwide. London is doing the same thing, right? They've just announced free housing, homes for illegal immigrants. Obviously, we've been doing it with hotels. California, Oregon, now doing it here. But born as a native Californian, I've never owned a home. Lost everything in 2007 and 8. We had the housing crisis then because of the subprime issue. The ability for people on welfare to use that income to get a house. The idea that people who would need this to get a house means that maybe they can't quite afford it yet, and that would lead to something else. But as an individual who's never had one, and maybe will never get one, considering the environment, I think about our veterans living on the street. Right. So when we think we're not bereft for other people who might want this program, and it certainly should at least be U.S. citizens first.
I think she ended on a good note. That's probably why I can't be president. Like, I would be a spaz to think that there's veterans that are homeless is insane to me. Unless they choose to be. Like, they want to sit on the street. Hey, it's a free country. You can sit on the street. But if there's a veteran that's on hard times because of whatever reason, PTSD or some other stuff that had come up, you bet your ashy elbows that they should have public housing. They should be able to, when I say public housing, it should be housing that the government pays for. If you honorably served in the military in the United States of Arizona, the United States of America, honorably served, not dishonorably discharged. You dishonorably discharged, they should put you in prison. But especially if you did something crazy. But like absconder. Anyway, I've seen them let people out that gone off and become traitors. But if you've honorably served, you put your time in, if you need financial assistance, we should cover military personnel for life. Every military personnel that have ever served their full service, we should be able to easily, without doubt, we should be able to easily cover them and pay for them in their housing 100%. I don't know. This is just insane. I don't know why it's crazy that we're even having this discussion. And let me just tell you, this is how I'm going to finish the video. Let me tell you why we're having a discussion just real quick in two seconds. Because Republicans actually are having a genuine discussion about protecting the American people. Democrats are lying to their constituency, are lying to their constituents to try to give them a make-believe scenario. When I was a Democrat, I thought the Democrat cared about the people. And then I realized they don't care about, it's all made up. The stuff that they propose, they can't even do anyway. It's never going to work. They're never going to do anything. And then a lot of these people don't even know what they're doing. They're not even qualified. It's like a guy that never played football is now the head coach of Alabama. It's like, wait a minute, you're not even qualified, bro. Yeah, everybody around you is great, so y'all not going to completely go downhill. But you're not benefiting the kids when you just in there because somebody chose you and you have never played football. These people have never run a business or nothing. They're just in there for political expediency. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next one. I'm out.